Welcome to Empowered by Iron, the podcast for female strength athletes by female strength athletes. We are your hosts, Kristen Lander from Fiercely Fueled Nutrition Coaching and Mary Morton, PhD candidate and weightlifter. Together, we are empowered by iron. Authentic connection is rare. We see snippets of people's lives on social media, but we don't really know them. One of the goals of this podcast is to truly connect with every single person who listens. All of you guys. We want to get to know you, but it's hard for us to ask you to be authentic and vulnerable if you don't actually know us, if we aren't being authentic and vulnerable. So today's episode is going to be a little different. We're stepping out of our comfort zone, and instead of talking about a lot of fitness things and helping you guys with stuff, we're just going to sit down and have a chat and letting you know more about us, letting you guys into who we are, what we do, and some deep shit today. When this comes out, it'll be about 1 year, 2 weeks from our 1 year anniversary of podcasting, and we realize what's missing in this whole podcast is a place where we can have the conversation, where we can take the podcast material and have a conversation on another platform. So as of today, we have launched a Facebook group called Women in Strength Athlete Resource. So you guys go find that page, follow it, and post questions. We're going to be asking a lot of questions of each other today to get to know us a little bit better for you guys. And we're going to post up in there these questions, and we want you guys to answer them too. We want to know you. We want to know who is empowered by iron, because it's not just us. It's you guys. You all make up Empowered by Iron, and we are so grateful for you guys. So again, go find that page. It's called Women in Strength Athlete Resource. Post up questions. It's gonna be this whole community thing where we can all talk about, things that are good and bad, or we can post questions, or we can do Q&As or whatever, but this is our thank you to you guys. All right, so let's get right into this. Are you ready for this, Kristen?
I'm ready. I'm ready to do this. All
right, so we have quite a few questions, and I think we're just gonna dive in. Do you want to start with one of yours, or should I start with one of mine?
I want you to tell me some weird fact about yourself.
Oh yeah, that's right. So my name is Mary Morton. Even though I recently got married, it should be Mary Martin.
Whoa, that's a big change.
Yeah, I didn't change it though. Let's see. I was born and raised in Colorado. I miss it very much. And one weird fact about me is that I actually used to have pet goats, and I very much miss having a weird animal as a pet. So my next pet will probably be a pig.
Right. And to add to that, Mary has been trying to convince me since I met her to get goats.
Mm-hmm. Because what's going to happen?
I have a big yard. She wants me to have goats so she can play with them. I'm
convincing her husband first, and then once he's convinced, they'll just show up.
Right, because that's how we got the chickens. All right, so I'm Kristen Lander. I am originally from St. Paul, Minnesota. Mm-hmm. I've lived in South Carolina for a little over 2 years, and I really don't miss Minnesota, although I miss my family and my peeps back there, but not the weather one bit. So actually,
cold up there.
I adore South Carolina. Mm-hmm.
Good.
So anyway, weird fact about me is beverages are like my security blanket, apparently. So every time I go anywhere or do anything, I have like at least like a big water bottle with me.
Nuh-uh, that's not true.
No, that's the minimum, is like one big bottle of water. And
I
then
don't think that's true. I think you have a minimum of 2 on you at all times.
Okay. Then the other will be like bubbly water. And then if it's before noon, coffee.
Yeah. She legit, whenever she comes to training or when she comes here to podcast, she has 2 or 3 different drinks.
Right.
Like today, she came with water and a bubbly and then got coffee from me. So there's 3.
Yeah. It's kind of a weird thing. I don't know why I do that. I can't go anywhere without a beverage.
I love it. It's the fit chick in you.
I'm apparently afraid I'm going to die of dehydration.
I mean, it's a couple hours sometimes. That's a lot.
All right. So, Mary, I want you to tell us all, like, what are your current goals in life right now?
My current goals in life to number one, finish my PhD. So I'm 3 years in, and it's time to be done. I'll probably have another year and a half, so it's just kind of pushing through that.
Will you tell? I don't know if everyone knows what you're doing your PhD in. Will you tell them?
It's technically it's a PhD in biological sciences, but I study brain development. So I study how cells talk to each other in your brain during development to give you a good brain or I don't want to say bad brain, but maybe a developmental disorder or some sort of thing like that.
Something that occurs during development to the brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you guys know she was such a brainiac?
Yeah. Definitely not my passion in life, but it's definitely something that I do.
And you're good at it.
I'm good at being a lab tech. I love being a lab tech. My second goal is actually, it's not even fitness related. My second goal is to be able to create a business, an environment to where I can support myself, and so I don't have to have a full-time job. Mm-hmm. I am a homebody, and I actually get really anxious when I'm outside of my house, which is probably not great, and I probably really should see a counselor for that, but I'm most comfortable when I'm in my house, and I don't like having people over. Like, if you're my friend, I probably won't ever invite you over to my house, and don't be offended by that. I just don't like people in my house. So my second goal is to be able to create income from my home so I can work from home. And then my third goal is right now to compete in a national meet. I was going to do it this fall at the AO Series 3. However, we had some things come up where we had to furnish our own gym, so I could no longer afford to do that. So hopefully I'll be up at the Arnold Classic.
Yeah, I think we're planning on going as a podcast, and then you're planning on competing at the AO Series 1 there.
Yes, so if you guys are going to be at the Arnold, we'll probably announce it later, but let's meet up, have some coffee or some shit.
Heck yeah.
So what about you? Current goals?
My current goals are, you guys are going to figure out really quickly, Mary and I are at different places in our life. I have, how many years on you? How many years older am I than you? Like 12?
A few.
12 or something like that.
I think it's 12.
Yeah. I'm pretty established in my career and my life, and I know what I want to do. So most of my goals in life are, right now, are a little short-sighted. And so my main goal right now, if you guys have been following us, you know that I was out for some surgery. If you haven't been following us long, you may have heard about it briefly on a couple episodes. But anyway, I have had a lot of life happen in this year, and I had almost 6 months off of lifting, and am just getting back into it, and I'm going to have to go out again for another 8 weeks, but right now, my current goal is to get my level of fitness back up, because I'm about as unfit and weak as I've been in, I don't know how many years, 5-6 years, so my goal is to get strong as fuck right now. I just want to get as strong as I possibly can.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest goal in life right now. That really sounds pathetic.
No, it's just each his own. I mean, you have already generated your own income. You basically work from home. You're a chiropractor who essentially works from home.
Yeah.
And
I have a nutrition company.
Yeah, and you have a nutrition company. Yep. So, like, you have that made. I'm 25, and now I'm just figuring out who I am and what I want to do. So,
right.
There's no shame in your game of wanting to be strong.
All right, so
the second question that we found on the internet, we thought was a good one, is what are you absolutely determined to do? So what in life are you, like, gung-ho all about?
I am absolutely determined in life by whatever this means at the current point I am, is just to have a peaceful and fulfilled existence. So my life is pretty much, I don't really want to say autopilot. I mean, I'm always striving to make things better and do something better, but I've had very stressful periods in my life. I've had, just lots of ups and downs. And like the thing that I've learned from all of those trials and tribulations through life is that your attitude and your outlook is huge in getting through them. And so I just really, I am determined that no matter what happens in my life from this point forward, I'm going to find a way to just make peace with everything and to kind of go with the flow as much as I can and just deal with things as they come up, not spend time worrying about anything, just kind of deal with things.
It's like a mental state of peace as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, like I know things are going to happen and like bad things are going to happen. That's just life. Bad things happen. But my main goal is to just be able to have peace no matter what.
That's a good goal.
Yeah, how about you?
So I'm absolutely determined to be financially independent. I come from a very strange family. Like we never didn't have anything that we needed or anything, and actually my parents are doing just fine. But I've always equated having a good life with having a financially peaceful life. So knowing that we've got money in the bank, that our bills are paid, that we don't have a lot of debt, etc., etc. That's like I'm absolutely determined to never have to think twice about buying myself 2 pairs of goddamn Romaleos because I want 2 colors. Like, I don't want to have to worry about that stuff. And I want to be able to use the money that I do have towards causes that I think are important, like opening an animal rescue or something like that. Like, I want to be able to be financially secure enough that I can take my money and use it towards something that I think will better the world. It's like not lifting related at all.
That's okay. We're more than just lifting. We all have lives outside of lifting.
What? I don't think so.
That's great. Well, so then what do you spend most of your time thinking about?
I daydream a lot. It's not really thinking, but I like to create scenarios in my head of how I think things will work out in my life. But for the most part, I spend most of my time thinking about how I can create the business or life or whatever that I want. Like, what do I need to do? What am I not doing? For a while, I spent way too much time thinking, like, trying to be this hardcore person that was like, I'm gonna write a checklist every day. I'm gonna do this, this, and this. Like, I'm gonna be so fucking hardcore. I'm gonna do all these things so I can get where I want to be in life. And then I realized I don't know where I want to be in life. So I had to take a step back and really think about what I wanted to do. And lately it's really just been about how to build this podcast into something that's really revolutionary and what our movement is and what is missing in the fitness industry and why we fill that void. Like, that's been my main focus recently.
So, I spend a huge portion of my time thinking about this podcast too, and far beyond the podcast, but like the community and all of you guys and how to connect with you guys, because the whole reason we started this podcast is because we wanted it to be an outlet and a resource for women who are like us, for women who are have like really found themselves through lifting, or whose lives have been improved by learning that they're capable of physical things far beyond what they ever thought they could do. And so I spent a lot of time really thinking about this podcast and thinking about you guys and thinking about ways that we can take this female strength community and make it better. It's already awesome, but how can we improve upon this community? How can we give back to this community? How can we provide value to this community in a way that's currently lacking? And so I spent a lot of my time thinking about that, and I spent a lot of time thinking about lifting. Like, a lot of time thinking about lifting. And like, that's sometimes
totally different than me.
Like, sometimes I'll be laying in bed at night and I will be like performing snatches in my brain, and then I'll fall asleep and like like jerk awake and I'm like doing like my arms over my head like I got a snap. I'm such a dork. Mary's looking at me like I have two heads right now.
No, man, a lot of people do that. I know, like, the guy that we lift with, he talks about that a lot. Like, you guys are very into it, and I'm kind of funny in that when I step into the gym, it's lifting. When I step out of the gym, I've forgotten. Sometimes I will go back and look at my videos if I have to send it to a coach, but I don't, like, lay there and think about it so hard. And that's not because I don't enjoy it. I also recognize where my talent is and where lifting will take me. Lifting will only take me to where I need to spend more money on lifting. Like, I'm never going to be a Colin Burns or a Courtney Batchelor or a Caitlin Hogan. Like, I'm strong and I'm good, but I'm not that good. So I recognize that, you know, it's a hobby. I really enjoy it. I will get as good as I can get, and then I go home and I think about the podcast. That's all I do. So I think this episode in particular is making Kristen and I realize that we're really different.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know weightlifting is not going to take me anywhere. It's not going to take me anywhere career-wise, but lifting has taken me a lot of places. Like, lifting has greatly improved my life, and it's something that I love and something I like to focus on. So I'm the type of person I have to have something in my life that I, like, nitpick. And I've got my chiropractic business to where I want it. And so if any of you are in business for yourself, you probably know that at a certain point in business, the less you do to your business, the better it is. Like, you have a good thing and you just keep going with that, keep doing what you're doing, but like, you can't be constantly changing things in business or you're going to screw it up. So, so I have to have something that I really nitpick at and that, like, I could just really like focus in on. And so I have learned that that can't be my business because I mess things up when I do that. So it's lifting. I'm just constantly trying to be better at that, and it makes me happy and feel fulfilled.
There's no shame in that. No shame. Okay. I think it's your turn.
Okay. So what is something that scares you? This is deep. Or maybe not.
I don't know. I don't get scared about things in life that easily. There's not a whole lot of things that I can think of where I would be terrified. If I had to say something I would be scared of. No, see, I mean, if Ben, my husband, died tragically, horrifically, I don't want him to die, I would be sad and it would suck and I'd probably cry myself to sleep every single night, but I'm not scared of that. I can't live in being scared. I mean, it's probably a little deeper, probably expecting like heights. I'm not even afraid of heights. I don't particularly go up and hang out in high places, but like, there's not many things that scare me. I'm not fearless by any means, but yeah. I don't know. I just know that regardless of what life throws at me, I'm going to be able to deal with it, even if that means it takes me out for a couple of weeks. Like,
well, but Ben, I don't want. Here we have it from Mary No Fear Morton.
But I don't want you to die, babe. I love you. I mean, I guess I'm really afraid of my dog dying because I know it's going to happen soon and I'm not sure what I'm going to do. But anyway, what are you afraid of?
I am afraid that at some point in life I will give up. Like, that is one thing that really scares me, is that whatever it is, like, not, I mean, giving up on life or just, I don't know, just giving up. Like, I'm a person who's I'm always working to like better myself and better the people around me and better my community. And at some point, I'm worried that at some point I might just say, fuck it.
Be a mountain hippie.
Yeah. And I don't want to give up. Whatever that means, I don't give up.
Then don't give up.
Right. But sometimes, you know, there's that fear of like,
yeah,
what if you do? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I'm also afraid of heights, which Mary found out the other day.
Yeah, I didn't mean to say that. And then My bad. I didn't know she was. This girl used to, like, what is it, competitive downhill mountain bike to death and has broken nearly every bone in her body. Shit, and she's afraid of fucking heights?
I am.
What?
Yeah, we got this yoga trapeze for the gym, which if you guys are ever seen these, they're really cool. So I'm really inflexible because I've had lots of injuries. And so I was like, yeah, that's what I need to work on my flexibility. So I got this yoga trapeze and we hung it in our gym. And it's not that far off the ground, but it's like far enough off the ground that like...
You could break your neck if you fell right.
Yeah, you could. You could. And so
That'll scare you.
I was like climbing up in it and I was like terrified, like sweaty palms, like freaking out. And Mary's like, really?
Her palms were sweaty, knees weak, her arms were heavy.
Yes!
Bombing on her sweater.
Yeah. Anyway.
So yeah, deep shit from Mary, real shit from Kristen. I think that's our personalities though. Like I'm so vague, and Kristen has like brought this up to me so many times. Like we'll be texting and I'll just text her this random thing and she'll be like, yo, I need more details. I'm like, oh, that was really vague, huh? I didn't include any details. So it's kind of like, I don't know, I don't live in the specifics. I live in the...
Right. And I'm very, very detail oriented.
That's why we work so well together.
It is.
Because like if it was just me on the podcast, it'd probably be me an hour of me going like, I don't know.
Okay, well then what's something that excites you?
Peanut butter. Okay, so here's a really sad story.
Oh, okay.
It's not sad, but like it's kind of sad. So some people are definitely allergic to peanut butter, right?
Right.
And they'll die. But then I found out that there's a middle ground where like you can get some side effects of like allergies from peanut butter.
You're talking about food sensitivities.
Yeah, and so I realized this probably happened when I was in my eating disorder phase. Because what I would do is we'd get a new tub of natural peanut butter, and I would go to open it and mix it. And when I was mixing it, I'd take like a few bites. Before I knew it, I had eaten half the jar of peanut butter, right, in a sitting. And I would do that so frequently, and peanut butter's been such a central to my life. I think over time I've developed a slight intolerance to it, because if I have just a little bit too much the night before, like 4 tablespoons or something, like my fingers in the morning feel swollen and my feet feel swollen and I feel kind of hungover. It's so sad, but it's so exciting. It's like that relationship you just can't have, but you want it so bad. So every once in a while you take a little taste and then you have to put it back. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. What excites you? I know, you can't top peanut butter.
I was going to say what excites me is true, authentic connection with people. So connecting with people and them telling me this weird shit about how they can't eat peanut butter actually really excites me, because I hate small talk, and I'm not good in like big group settings where you're just like, so how's the weather? What, I don't know. That kind of stuff makes me anxious. I don't know how to do it. Like I'm like blah, like here I am, or I'll be really quiet and not say anything. So like really connecting with people and finding common ground and having them tell me weird stuff about peanut butter really actually excites me. I love it.
I love peanut butter. That's totally opposite of me. Like if I think about it. Like I love connecting with people, don't get me wrong, but man, if I could just stay at home the whole time and like never have to leave my house.
Mary doesn't want to ever talk to anyone, ever. That's
not true. I don't like wasting my time.
But truly connecting with people isn't a waste of time.
Yeah, but you see, the problem is, like, and I know this isn't our listeners, but a lot of people who you meet in real life, they're just very shallow people. And, like, when they talk to you, you're just kind of in this like, do you have anything going on in your life? Like, do you have anything important to say about anything? No, I don't want to talk to you.
Right.
Form an opinion and come talk to me later.
Right. You're exactly like me. You want true connection with people.
I don't want it, though. Like, if it happens, that's great, but I don't like... It doesn't excite me.
Oh, I see.
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, when I met Ben, my husband, I like tried to get rid of him many times. he'd like sit down at a table with me and we'd be studying, and then I would get anxious. I was like, who is this human sitting near me? I was at this table by myself. It was my table. And he was trying to be all friendly, and I was like, I'm going to go for a walk. And then he'd be like, oh, I'll come. And I'd be like, fuck.
All right. So basically what you're saying is Ben's still around because you just couldn't get rid of him.
Yeah, I think that's how people stay in my life, is people who just decide that they don't want to get rid of me. Because usually if people just stop talking to me, I'll just stop talking to them. It's horrible. I don't have many friends from my childhood simply because of that reason. If people lose connection with me, and if I don't have a reason to talk to you, I'm not going to just reach out and be like, hey, how's it going? Like, I don't, it's, meh, let's move on. Let's see. I kind of like this question because it might make you think. What are some personal rules you never break?
I do have some personal rules I never break, and the first one is I never lie. I'm always honest. If I don't want to tell the truth, I just won't say anything.
That's like me. I can agree with that one.
But and then my other rule that I live by is the golden rule. Like, I treat other people how I'd want to be treated, and so I'm often like nice to people even when I shouldn't be. I talk to people that, if they're friendly and want to talk to me, I will talk to them. And yeah. I'm never intentionally an asshole. It's not to say like I haven't been an asshole in my life, but I'm never intentionally an asshole to someone. And so, but then the downside of that is like if someone's an asshole to me, I sometimes like I give them the benefit of the doubt way too many times. And so I've learned that I just eventually have to like cut those people out of my life because I often don't just stand up and say, hey, you're a freaking dick.
You're a meanie.
Yeah. I don't like mean people. I try not to be a mean person.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Why are you laughing?
I just got reminded of a story. Anyway, just about sometimes being nice to people and it ends up puts you in weird situations.
Mm-hmm. Like something just happened. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we won't talk about that. Like, we want to be real and everything with you guys, but to preserve the person who was involved in this other situation, we're just gonna.
We'll just say this. I got myself into an awkward situation because I was being nice.
Even though I warned her about it.
She did warn me.
Thank you.
But I was like, whatever. I'm a nice person. I'm going to be nice back. And it was weird.
Okay, here are my personal rules I never break. Do not make eye contact.
That's not true. She was looking me in the eyes when she said that.
I mean, it's kind of true. Okay, here's some personal rules I never break. I never say thanks. I always say thank you.
Oh.
I feel like thanks is a way that it just sounds like petty, like thanks.
Oh.
So whenever I read thanks from someone, I'm like, oh, thanks to you too. So I always say thank you. Just like you said, I try to be honest to a fault. And if I usually don't want people to know about it, I just don't talk about it. Like, if it's something that, I mean, besides Ben, I tell, if you guys haven't caught on by now, that's my husband. I typically tell him everything just because we are a partnership, and I feel like if I hold anything from him, I'm doing us a disservice.
Yep.
And then the other personal rule that I never break is, I always, how do I say this? If my gut says no, I say no. Because, okay, never break is probably the wrong answer, or the wrong thing to say. I have broken that before, and it's put me in very bad situations.
Mm-hmm. So not listening to your intuition?
Not listening to my intuition. It could be something as simple as, like, I get a weird gut feeling about going out somewhere that night, and I just don't go. Sometimes I'll get invited somewhere, and I'll just go. I'll have a great time, and I won't have a gut feeling. But if someone invites me, and then I'm like, oh, I have this weird feeling, I'm not going to go. Or a business decision, or, like, if I want to purchase something, I always know to trust my gut. And it's not like a gut feeling where you're just like, oh, I think this is right. Like, no, literally, my stomach starts to hurt if I feel like it's a wrong decision. I just don't do it. If my stomach physically starts to give me problems, I'm like, well, I didn't eat anything bad today. Didn't have broccoli. All right, I can't go, you know.
It's not gas.
It's not gas. It's my gut.
That's good. I like it.
Thank you.
I like it.
And don't make eye contact. Oh, and another one is a firm handshake.
Yeah.
That's something that I don't know if you ladies have ever, or guys if you're listening. If you ever, okay, guys, if you are listening, men, same topic. If you shake a woman's hand, please be firm.
Right, and like let her put her whole hand in there. Don't shake her fingertips.
Yeah, you're not trying to grab my fingertips and kiss my finger. I'll slap you. I will slap you so hard. I am an equal. We will shake hands. Hard. Firm.
Yep. Firm.
Hard. Firm.
Mm-hmm.
Firm handshakes. Okay, that's enough from me. Sorry. Ramble.
Well then, I think we're down to like our last question. Final question.
Dun dun dun!
What is something you've had to unlearn in life?
Oh, fuck. You want to go first?
Okay. Something I've had to there's two things I've had to unlearn. Oh no, there's a million things I've had to unlearn, but the two I will share with you are, number one is somewhere in my life, and I'm not sure where, I learned like negative self-talk, and that is something that comes up over and over and over and over again, and I'm like constantly having to unlearn that or learn ways to deal with it and whatever. But so that's one big thing, and then another is crappy weightlifting technique.
That's funny.
It's really hard to unlearn motor patterns, by the way. So I work on that on a regular basis.
What was your first one again?
Negative self-talk.
Negative self-talk. I had one and I don't remember what it is. Now I remember. So my whole side of my mom's family has a high affinity for the alcoholic beverage. And so when I was younger, I had learned that alcohol in any shape or form is bad. Mm-hmm. I've had bad experiences with it as a family member. I've seen people lose their shit over it. So I had learned that alcohol is bad. So I never drank. In college, I got like blasted once, and that was it. But then I met Ben, and he drinks. He likes to drink. And for me, it was like the biggest struggle that I really didn't talk to anyone about, because I didn't want to tell my parents that I was dating someone who drank alcohol. God forbid I do that. Mm-hmm. But it didn't seem to be a problem. Like, he wasn't mean when he had an alcoholic beverage. He didn't do anything stupid.
He wasn't dependent on him.
Right. He was just happy and drunk. Mm-hmm. And it's taken me till now, basically, to learn that, yeah, he likes to drink. So what?
Mm-hmm. So you're learning, that's like, you can take that a step deeper and say that you're learning like shades of gray, that life isn't black and white.
Yeah, I'm really bad about black and white things. Mm-hmm. Like, it's either blank or blank. Right. There's no middle grounds.
Which, going back to something that you mentioned, if I can bring it up, she'll just edit this out if I can't bring it up, so you guys won't even know this is happening.
Why did you say that?
I think that makes it easy for you to fall into disordered eating, and you have a history of, you brought it up with the peanut butter, you have a history of eating disorder because you think everything, it's like either eat or don't eat all the food or eat none of the food, or you put foods into categories, bad food, good food.
Yep. And I am unlearning that too, and I've been doing pretty damn good. Mm-hmm. I'm loosely tracking my food, and I've learned that with myself, I just can't be strict. I can't be like, okay, I have to hit to the gram every day. I gotta do this. Mm-hmm. Like, I need to be flexible and forgiving. Yeah. And that's just how and I'm sure a lot of you listeners you're that way too. You need to be able to be flexible, but also if you fuck up, just be like, oh well. And then actively suppress it from your brain, because like if I wake up and I weigh a little heavier, still I have to like actively tell myself it does not matter. It is just a number, and then go on my day and try to forget it. In the past, I'd like wake up, I'd be like 160, and I'd be like, oh, 160. And then breakfast time, I'd be like, oh, I was 160. Lunchtime, oh, I was 160. Dinner time, oh, I was 160. And like,
you'd weigh yourself like multiple times a day?
No, it would just perpetuate in my brain.
Oh, you were thinking about it. Okay.
Yeah, over and over and over and over.
Oh, no.
And so by the next day, if I wasn't below 160, that was it. It was over. It was like, okay, well, I'm just going to be fat. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It was pretty bad. But I've gotten better. Now I don't associate that. I get up, I weigh myself, and what I weigh is what I weigh, and that's it. Mm-hmm. And then I go drink coffee, because coffee's good.
Coffee is great.
Coffee's the best.
Coffee is one of the 3 beverages I always have with me.
She has a problem.
All right, so you guys, we hope this has been like fun for you guys to get to know us. And ultimately, the reason we did it is Mary and I are both pretty private people, but we want to get to know you guys. And so we understand that if we're asking to get to know you, that you probably want to know a little bit about us. So go over to our Facebook group page. We've linked it in the show notes.
We'll link it in our Empowered by Iron Facebook page as well. It's a group, so it's a support group.
Yep. And so go over there and we'll post up these questions. Again? It is called Women in Strength Athlete Resource. It's a Facebook group page. It is a closed group, so no one can see anything that you post in there unless they're in the group. It's not a private group though, because if it's a private group, that means like no one can even see, that no one can find it. So we need people to be able to find it. So, but it's a closed group and it's a safe group. If you are listening to this early in the morning, you're probably going to be one of the first people to find it because we just made it live. So just go in there, please. We would love this. Go in there and like answer some of these questions. Let's build this community. Let's get to know each other. Maybe you don't want to answer some of the deeper questions. That's fine. Or if you do, great. We would love to hear them.
And stay tuned. Stay tuned on our Instagram. That's where we will be announcing some of this, but also be part of the Facebook group, because we are going to have some athletes on, some well-known athletes, to do a live Facebook Q&A, including Olympian Sarah Robles, Courtney Batchelor, American record holder in weightlifting. We also have Stacy Bama Burr, three-time all-time world record holder. We just had her on recently. And finally, the queen of USAPL, Jen Thompson. We're going to have her on as well. We did interviews with all these ladies previously before, and they are coming back to help support this community of female strength athletes. So make sure you guys are following, or you join the Women in Strength Athlete Resource Facebook group page. You're going to want to make sure that you're on there. We will be doing these Facebook Live events the week of October 9th. So make sure you are stay tuned and paying attention about who's going to be on when. And it's going to happen the week of October 9th.
Yes, you've got to be a part of the group to be part of the action.
Yes.
And so, like we said, this group is a safe place. It's a place where we can go to ask each other questions. Like, do you have questions about training? Hey, has anyone done this type of training? Has anyone done that type of training? What are your experiences? Or like, do you have questions about like, what's everyone's favorite shorts? What's everyone's shorts that they like to wear when they squat that doesn't slide down their butt or show their butt crack? Or like just simple stuff. But it's also a place where we can come together to like celebrate each other. You can talk about your PRs in there and we will celebrate with you. You can talk about your frustrations and we will commiserate with you. We will help you. We will support you. And you can post up training videos to get technique help. I mean, whatever it is, like together, this is a resource for the thing that binds us, which is being empowered by iron. So we want to be really active in there. This is also a place where we can take our podcast and make it into a bigger discussion. So if you have questions about something that was mentioned in a podcast, you can bring it up in there and we can actually discuss with you guys in real time, as opposed to us recording and you listening later on. So anyway, we're really excited about it. We think it's going to be really fun. And it's just a really good place where we can come together, learn about all aspects of strength training, healthy living, and living an authentic life.
Yeah. All right. Don't forget to go check it out. And we'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.